All right. My name's Mookie from 88.5 FM here in Southern California, and Bear Rinehart is on the other screen here. How are you today?
I'm great, man. Doing good.
Nice. It took us a while to figure out what we wanted to do when we all went into quarantine, and we just decided to do these virtual chit chats, and it's been an incredible revolving door of artists. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we publish brand new interviews, and there's a lot. So it's
Yeah,
been great
awesome.
catching up with some of these artists and seeing what their bedroom or home studio looks like.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah. Where are you right now?
I'm in the studio, yeah, my house. I'm in Nashville, Tennessee.
Cool.
Yeah.
Did a little bit of research on Need to Breathe, and you guys are originally from South Carolina, correct?
We are, yeah. Only been here a couple of years. Lived in
How,
Charleston for a while after that, yeah.
how are you liking Nashville?
I love it. I love it. I mean, there's a lot of talented people here. It's cool to be around music like that. I mean, in Charleston, there wasn't anything like this scene here.
Yeah.
So it's nice to be able to call, anything you need, instrument wise or musician wise and all that. And I've got
Yeah.
two little kids, so I've been touring now for almost 20 years, I guess. And it's nice to be able to like see them a little bit more. I feel like I was flying from Charleston to Nashville to get on the bus every time, so it's like an extra day of travel and all that. So we love it.
Cool. How you hanging in there with the family, and how serious have you been taking, quarantine?
I think I take it probably more seriously than most Southerners.
Yeah.
I mean, embarrassingly, that's like just not a great. I feel like people have been doing a great job with my wife's a nurse practitioner, so she makes sure I'm on the up and up. But we've been doing pretty good, man. The kids are a little bit crazy. That's got kind of wild there in the middle.
Are they of a school age?
Not yet. No, they're
Oh,
5 and 2.
right.
So they're just in the age where they tear up my house every day and beat
Yeah.
the shit out of me.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, no, it's actually it's been tough. I think the first few weeks of it were probably the worst, and it's been one of the more creative times. I think of my life. I think of like what my wife does for work as so important, in medicine, and I think it's felt somewhat like music is that way now to me. So it's been easier, I feel like, to just get in here and work every day.
That's incredible. I've been talking to a lot of artists, and one of my standard questions is, are you writing music? There's
Yeah.
obviously, probably a lot to draw on given the current climate of just how the world is right now. Oftentimes an artist or a band just had released their record, and then they had to cancel the tour and all the
Yeah.
promotion that they were going to
Yeah.
do. So it's such an interesting time right now, man.
Yeah, it
Um,
is. It's
yeah,
weird.
yeah. Um, Speaking of music, I had been working in radio for a really long time. I know of the band Need to Breathe. I was never, unfortunately, at a radio station till now where we played Need to Breathe. However, you won me over with the Wilder Woods project, man.
Oh, dude, thanks, brother. I
Yeah,
appreciate
and
that.
I hope you remember because you play a lot of gigs. But you played as a three piece in Hollywood at the
Yeah,
venue No Vacancy.
of
Yeah.
course. Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
for some of our members, I was unable to attend. It was the highest of high holidays for the Jewish religion, so I
Sure.
was unable to be there. But it went really well, and I also saw you at that music conference in Boulder, Colorado, for the
Yeah,
AAA
definitely.
format. Yeah, seems like a quick turnaround. Maybe I'm
Yeah,
wrong. But the Wilder Woods record came out, and now all of a sudden we're talking about new Need to Breathe.
yeah,
Um, you know, after you got off tour for Wilder Woods, it seems like you just hit the gas pedal. Or
yeah.
were you sitting on
It's
some of these
weird.
songs before?
I was a little bit. I mean, I think the band had been working on a record for the last several years. So I feel like we ended up writing most of the material for the new record after the Waterwoods thing, but it did feel like we were kind of like headed towards a sound anyway. Kind of had worked out sort of what we wanted to do. Um, but honestly, I've just fallen in love with work. I've fallen in love, not the work part, but the music part. I've kind of, I feel like the Waterwoods thing was a chance for me to like, I don't know, get back into the garage band days a little bit in the sense of just I'm writing and there's not real expectation for it. Nobody, with a big band or whatever, obviously there's always pressure on what you put out, and your fans have come to know you for certain things. With that, it was just a freedom to it, and
Yeah.
really just childlike kind of way I approach the music, and it inspired me, I think, to do that on the Need to Breathe stuff this time around. So this is probably the fastest we have written a record, the fastest we made a record. I mean, the least fights we've ever had making a record, And I really honestly think it was because of the Walter Woods thing. I was able to just see what the other side looked like a little bit, take some of the pressure off, and see how much more creative you can be.
That's incredible. So Need to Breathe has been putting out records, I believe, since the early 2000s.
Yeah.
Couple of independent releases before you even got affiliated with a record label. So, man, there's a bunch of records to dive into all of a sudden. One thing that really impressed me, there's for the uninitiated, if you will, there's these GMA awards. You won 13 of them, if I read Wikipedia correctly.
Right.
It's I guess in conjunction with the Gospel Music Association. That's incredible, my man.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. So is it safe to say that you grew up singing in church, and
Yeah.
is that where you initially sort of
Yeah.
gained an affinity for music and or got your musical chops?
Definitely. Yeah, my dad was a preacher, and we grew up in kind of like not a traditional sort of, more of like a Pentecostal gospel sort of vibe.
Hmm.
So, yeah, the first band I was in was the band at the church, and I mean, I always tell people, I'm like, a lot of people I know are like that because, when you're 15, you're not really gigging out or anything yet, you know what I mean? So, but they'll let you play in church, so you figure out what guitar pedals are, and you figure out whatever.
Love that.
And so I think it's been kind of interesting because I think I shied away from it when I first got into music. I first signed a record deal, I was very like, I'm not doing any of that, and that's not me. I'm not, even the label. I remember asking the band to be more international, like they said, which I think was like less redneck or whatever. But I think over the years I've kind of like gravitated back towards that. So some of the gospel stuff I grew up on and that I like the most. And the biggest part of the thing about that kind of music is that people sing it to live to. You know what I mean? They sort of like these songs were very like the spiritual songs were things they leaned on and those kind of things. And I think that's cool to make that kind of music.
Yeah, man, that's incredible. I just talked about the song Hang On the air yesterday, and I said, man, that band has a lot of soul. And that's the first song that we've heard off the upcoming album, Out of Body, from Need to Breathe. August 28th is the release date, I think, still. Did you have to push it back?
We did. We're still messing around. Yeah, the COVID thing, and now I think the March on Washington may be. We're like trying to figure out that it should be if we should release a record that day or not. So, but right around there is when it's going to happen.
Is that a thing?
I think it's the March on Washington is the day. Yeah.
Oh.
So we just want to be, respectful of that. I don't think we want to release a record on that day.
Yeah. It's so crazy right now, my man. On your website, somebody in the band was quoted as saying, "Music is our vehicle for change. Need to Breathe has partnered up with One World Health. People can find details through needtobreathe.com. Could you speak on that in just a little bit, trying to give back a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, we early on, we just were trying to figure out some way for us to be involved. I got roped in actually to a trip to Uganda with my wife, who was working as a nurse practitioner, and I was just like, what can we do when I got back? Because it was a very solvable problem, especially in Africa. It was like people were dying of things like malaria that are treatable and inexpensive to treat, and so we just started kind of doing what we knew how to do. We did $1 from all the tickets, the shows and golf tournament and stuff, and we've raised like over $2 million now with the fans of the band, and have built 2 medical clinics in Nicaragua, which we've gone for the openings of, which has been insane. So the whole thing behind it is it's sustainable healthcare. So you teach them how to do it, and hopefully within a year it's up and running, and it's there forever.
Oh my God. So, I mean, as a musician, you've probably been to places around the country, if not the world, that I may never even go to in my lifetime, just as a performer. I bet you never envisioned going to, what did you say, Uganda?
Yeah, Uganda and Nicaragua up there too. No, I didn't, to be honest with you. And I'm not even like medical in any way. I'm scared of any TV show with blood in it. So, You know what I mean? But I've kind of fell in love with the idea of what they were trying to do and how responsible they were being about it. And it's been really cool because our fans, I think, alongside of us growing up as a band, have really grown up with us in a way and really taken it on themselves to be a big part of it.
So people could donate to One World Health through Need to Breathe. People could text NTB Cares to 41444. It's all on your website as well. The fan group, The Insiders, who came up with that concept and how long has that been
Uh,
a thing?
yeah, it's been a thing a little while. I mean,
Yeah.
we had a record called The Outsiders, and so it just made a ton of sense. We just were a small town rock band when we first started out, so the Outsiders kind of thing felt good to us. I remember the first time like we went to California, we were just totally like, what is this, and where are we? And
Yeah.
will this music work out here and all that? So we weren't. It was a tough time, so that's why we kind of did the Outsiders thing. It was like, let's just own who we are, and it started to kind of work and relate. And yeah, the Insiders thing is crazy. We have the weirdest, craziest fans in the world. If you ever come see our band play, you'll see it's like 12 to 80 is our demographic of age and
Yeah.
like where they came from. We've been around so long. We never had like this massive hit where it was like everybody came from this one song.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
feel like it's the audience is just bizarre in that way, and also pretty crazy and fervent.
Dude, I hope to, I mean, there's no tour dates on your website right now, and I hope we
Not
get to
yet.
that
We're
point
working
real
on it.
soon where I can
Yeah,
see you.
I know, man. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're all trying to figure out what to do about that, obviously, and I
Yeah.
hate it. We're fortunate, I think, to be a band that can sort of weather it a little bit. Our fans hate it and we hate it. We'd love to be able to play, but some of my buddies are in bands that were just getting to that level, or they're in bands or just the first tour on a bus, and
Yeah.
and it's pretty devastating. It's pretty
Oh,
tough.
yeah, I imagine so. Independent venues are hurting as well. That's
Definitely.
a whole nother story. It's amazing to hear you say that you're in a really good place creatively right now. I have one kid, she's two, and me and my wife are both working from home. I'm doing a radio show from home as well and trying to program the radio station. Mind blown as far as how you can even get time for yourself to
Oh
work
man.
on music,
Yeah.
with the family dynamic. So
Yeah, they're
good
beating on
job,
the
whatever
door.
you're
I mean,
doing.
we've survived it today. They're beating on the studio door pretty much every day. So, yeah, it's a lot of retakes, a lot of messed up takes from kids yelling, but it's good.
That's crazy. We're almost getting into seeing NBA and Major League Baseball. We're not sure if that's going to even happen. You're a football guy, from what I understand. You played wide
Yeah,
receiver at, what was it, Furman
Furman.
University?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Furman.
So are you still a sports fan? Do you follow
I'm a
certain
big sports
athletes or
fan. Yeah,
yeah.
big sports fan. Baseball and football mostly. I'll watch a little bit of basketball here and there, but it'll be exciting. I think the baseball thing would be fun if it's the shortened season could like change the way the game goes, and it could be interesting. But yeah, I'm excited about that. It's really hard to go through the quarantine without sports for me.
Yeah. I mean, I found that at first I was bummed, but at this point, it's like I ain't got no time for that anyway. So, I mean,
Yeah, here,
like, yeah.
yeah.
Who's your team growing up in South
I'm
Carolina?
Yeah, it's kind of weird because I'm a Atlanta Braves fan, because they used to have a Double A team close to us, and that's where I grew up going watching them. And then, and not a really NFL guy necessarily. I grew up a Chicago Bears fan because when I was a kid, it was like McMahon and Singletary and Walter Payton and all these,
Right.
and we were the Falcons were probably the closest team to me, but I never liked the indoor teams. So
You
yeah,
like
I'm
Alabama
Alabama. I'm
football?
named after Bear Bryant.
Yeah.
So I kind of forced into that one.
You gonna take the boys to Cooperstown one day?
Definitely,
Yeah.
definitely, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
We'll see
It's a
if they
good
like
trip.
sports. I'm like, I don't. So far, they could care less, which is fine with me.
Right. So Bear Rinehart here from Need to Breathe. Needtobreathe.com is the website. Out of Body is the new record coming out towards the tail end of August. The song Hang On has been on the air for a couple of weeks on 88.5 FM. How's your brother Bo? And I heard that he's not gonna going to be with the band anymore.
Yeah, it's tough, man. It's we've gone through this once before. A drummer left years ago, and having, obviously it's different with your brother. It's even crazier. It was tough because I think he'd been kind of thinking about it for the last year or two, so I think we had a little more chance to grieve it than our fans did, or people when they heard the announcement. So I think we were getting our heads around it. I was saying that we went into this record pretty humbly, I think, kind of like, man, this is going to change a lot of things. Like, this is going to look different and feel different. And I think probably halfway through the first thing, we were like, we should still do this, because you got to ask yourself that question a little bit. It's like, is this what people want, and we just felt like, that we had some things left to say, and that the band was important to a lot of people, and we just got inspired again. So he's doing well. He's all good. But
good. I don't mean to pry or anything.
No,
you
it's
never
great.
know asking a question like that,
Yeah.
because I didn't know, the
No.
backstory or anything.
Yeah.
Right on. What was your last day job that you had that didn't involve music?
I was a buggy boy at Lowe's.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also washed boats at a marina. I scrubbed. I scrubbed X-ray. X-ray machines have like this juice thing that you have to put in there. I scrubbed the buckets that held the juice.
Fantastic.
So not a bunch of. I mean, I don't have anything to go back to, obviously.
Any advice you would give to a musician who wants to make music their full-time job?
I tell everybody, don't do it unless you just have to do it. So if you're like us and you just can't live without it, then maybe it's the thing for you. And if not, you should quit now. It's a crazy lifestyle. It's insane, and ask a lot of you and your family. And I really feel like the people I see that end up succeeding at it are just the people that they'd have to wash X-ray buckets if they didn't do it. So
amazing. Man, you're a class act, and thanks so much have you done much of this, or have you done much like live streaming performances online?
Not the live. Well, we've done a little bit of the live stream thing. We've done some of these Zooms. I mean, we're starting to figure it out, but it's still a mess every time. I feel like it's easier with just me here. When the band comes over, we have to kind of rearrange the whole studio to make it work. And it's a new reality. We're excited to get back. We're gonna do some live stream stuff that's more kind of rock and roll, like in the studio, and more dingy and sort of less talking into the camera kind of thing. So we're excited about that.
Cool, man. Well, we're here to support, and from what we've heard so far, it's great. Can't wait to hear the rest of the record.
Thanks, man.
I guess we'll wrap it up, and again, God willing, hopefully we'll see you in Southern California when you come visit next time.
Can't wait, man. For real.
All right, my man. Take care, and thanks again.
Okay, of course, man. Thanks.
Later.